What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Got some changes and some new stuff to go over with you guys today. First up, the patch we got yesterday was not exactly what we had on the PTR. I'm not going to go through all of the patch notes, but I do want to clarify a couple of things. So the first is Doomfist's Nerf for the uppercut. This was originally 0.2 seconds of a delay at the top of the uppercut. On the PTR, they had nerfed it down to 0.5 seconds. So you were effectively stunning yourself at the top of every single uppercut. They found that that was too much, so they still ended up nerfing it. So it went from 0.2 to 0.35. So there is now a 0.35 second delay at the top of the uppercut. I don't really think that is going to solve some of the issues that Doomfist has. I think for the lower bracket specifically, the rocket punch is the much bigger issue. And at the upper bracket, that's where the uppercut is gonna, come into play a little bit more. But in either case, I don't think that's really gonna solve a whole lot of things. As I've said before, I think one of the possible solutions that they could do with Doomfist is try to flatten out his damage a little bit, make it more consistent and less bursty. It doesn't mean they have to completely remove the burst aspect of the character, but just kind of flatten it out a little bit might work a little bit better. Another issue is with Symmetra. On the PTR, there was a bug that caused the character to be able to teleport instantly after making the teleporter. You didn't have to wait any delay. And I just wanted to kind of clarify that this, in fact, has been fixed. So let me make this. I'm going to spam the button, and then it teleports. So that instant teleport that was available on the PTR was a bug. It's been fixed. It's not there anymore. Something else I wanted to show you guys, last week I pointed out that Bastion's pick rate had reached an all-time low of 0.01%. How could it get any worse, I hear you ask? Well, let me show you his current pick rate, which is an astounding 0.00%. He has, in fact, fallen into the 1000th place, which isn't even tracked on the website. So the idea that Bastion is doing good or that he doesn't need a rework is so absurd. You might be asking, what rank is this from? It's Grandmaster, where hero picks in the meta are the most important, where the vast majority of players will use stuff that can help them win as opposed to just whatever they feel like. So that's why having a 0% pick rate in GM is that much worse. But I'll quickly run through the other ones just to show that it's not only at GM, it's throughout the entire game. For Master rank, it's 0.04%. Diamond is 0.08. Platinum is 0.14. Gold is 0.24. Silver is 0.48, so almost 0.5% in silver. And then bronze is the only rank where Bastion's pick rate goes above 1%. It is 1.02% in bronze. Overall, his pick rate is at a whopping 0.23%. The character is terrible. Blizzard, you need to do something about this. I put together a pretty funny meme video about it. I have it posted over on my Twitter and my Instagram. You can find the links for those down in the description if you want to check the video out. As for new stuff, we got another legendary skin that was announced yesterday. It's called Goat Brigida, and it's going to be available from February 6th until the 19th. This is tied into the Overwatch League, which means that you're going to have to use those league tokens in order to get it. You can either buy them, which is probably going to be the equivalent of about $10, or you can just watch the matches and get the tokens for free. Or you can just leave the browser open and then not even have to watch it and still get the tokens. I'm not telling you have to do that. It's just an option. When this first popped up on Twitter by the official Overwatch League account, I responded by saying the devs did such a terrible job of balancing the game that we were stuck with the horrible GOATS comp for over a year. By the way, can you please give us $10? Just kind of pointing out the fact that, yeah, the devs messed up for quite a while, and because of that, we had GOATS comp for as long as we did, but it's now kind of funny that they're actually making money off of their own mistake from the previous year. Now, of course, there's a little bit of nuance in that, and some people on Twitter were too stupid to understand, but, it's social media, and you have to expect that. But as far as the character skin itself, yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's a really good-looking character skin, probably one of the best for the character. It's got some pretty cool things. Obviously, the horns on top because she's, you know, the goat, and there's a goat on the shoulder for the armor. There's also one on the shield. There's one on the back. Her boots have these little cuts in the middle, so it looks like she's actually has hooves. So I think it's a really cool looking skin. Now, whether or not you want to spend the money on it, that's up to you. I would just get the tokens from the stream. And speaking of what's in the meta, I've been getting a lot of questions about what the new meta is after the patch and which characters are going to be the best with the nerfs that we just got. And I've been checking through quite a bit of footage for GM and top 500 gameplay after the patch, and for the most part, everything kind of still seems like it was before, meaning that there's lots of Orisa, Sigma, Hanzo, Widow, and Baptiste. Yeah, there's a little bit of variety here and there, maybe throwing in some McCree, maybe a Winston or a Reinhardt, but for the most part, it seems to be kind of the same that we had. Now, even before the patch, some characters like Mei and Reaper were already dropping quite a bit in pick rate. Mei was hanging around towards the middle of the pack, and Reaper dropped a lot, even more so in the upper bracket. Hanzo and Widow are just incredibly effective now that barriers are not as powerful. So Mei was dropping even before she got these nerfs. Now, with these nerfs, she's probably going to continue to drop a little bit more, but it just, I mean, it's not really that big of an issue because, again, Hanzo and Widow are so good. Now, it's important to point out that after any kind of a patch, most players will still tend to stick with whatever they were used to. So, since it's only been a day, and, you know, I've been checking out the different footage and whatnot, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's set in stone. If you're playing one thing before the patch, then they tend to keep playing it after the patch. A much smaller group of players, however, will start trying out different stuff, and I've heard from some high-level coaches that they're now experimenting more with using dive, emphasis on the high mobility and the quick strikes of Winston and D.Va, specifically now that D.Va has such unbelievably high mobility. With D.Va, she can now very effectively dive against a Hanzo or a Widow, using the defense matrix to prevent all of the damage. As soon as she gets in close, she can use her abilities, and then even if it doesn't go that great and the Hanzo or the Widow manages to escape, D.Va will have her boosters back within just a couple seconds, meaning that she can then quickly escape herself, still keeping the mech intact, and then a couple seconds later, she can get healed up, turn around, and try it again. At this point, though, I think it's still early to tell, and it doesn't quite appear that the nerfs to Orisa and Hanzo were quite strong enough to kick them out of the meta, so it's very likely that we're going to see them sticking around for a while, although, again, dive definitely does have a chance. It may not become the brand new meta, but it's gonna be a lot stronger than it was before, at least. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can get some cool gear, join my Discord server, or follow me on social media with the links down in the description below. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, and remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.